hand has to be put in front like that, and the right hand is to be turned in a clockwise manner. Let's do it. Like that. You start moving it up, take it up like this, take it up, push back your head and loosen your shoulders and give it a twist. Now you tie it up there. 1. You'll see the result just now, the proof of it. Now again do it. Take it up, push back, give another tie. Now the third one has to be 3 times you have to tighten. Again do it. It's very simple. Everybody can do it. 1, 2, and 3. Now you see, you'll feel it more. Like this, and give a kind of a protection to your aura. Now 1, this one protection to the 7 centers, so 7. Then 2, then again the 3, then the 4, then the 5, all the centers, then to the 6, and then to the 7.
Rest your hands, palms facing upward, open on your lap. In this meditation, we will again practice how to allow the Kundalini to take our attention beyond our thoughts, therefore entering into the state of mental silence. We will also focus on the 5th energy center, which is at the level of the throat. This energy center gives us the ability to communicate with our inner being through the central nervous system. By correcting any imbalances in this energy center, our communication with our inner being becomes easier. We can feel more clearly the state of our inner being. By removing these imbalances, we'll also allow the Kundalini to rise with less obstruction. When the Kundalini is rising more strongly, our state of meditation also becomes stronger. The 5th energy center becomes strained if we do not forgive ourselves for any mistakes that we may have committed in the past. These feelings of guilt, which are stored inside us, prevent us from connecting with the Kundalini and feeling her physical manifestation on our hands and above our head. To correct this, we need to forgive ourselves. Let's put our right hand in the corner of the neck and shoulder on the left side of the body and turn our head slightly to the right. Please repeat within yourself silently. Mother Kundalini, I am not guilty. Mother, I am not guilty. Mother, I forgive all of the mistakes I may have committed in the past. Mother, I forgive myself. I am not guilty. Now let's put the right hand back on the lap. Palm open, facing upwards. Let's watch our breathing. Let's put the right palm on top of the fontanelle bone, on the top of the head. Let's keep our attention here, which is the 7th energy center. Please repeat within yourself silently. Mother, please establish my Kundalini awakening. Please allow me to feel the cool breeze of the Kundalini. Let's raise the right hand slowly, upwards. At 2 or 3 inches directly above your head, you may feel the cool breeze of the Kundalini. Slowly, you can put your right hand back on the lap. Now let's try it with the left hand. Keeping the right hand open on our lap, palm facing upwards, let's put the left palm on the fontanelle bone. Try to watch your thoughts. When there are thoughts coming, you can say not now, or you can say I forgive. Now you can raise the left hand slowly and see if you can feel the cool breeze of the Kundalini 2 or 3 inches above your head. Keeping our attention on the 7th energy center on the top of the head, let's put both our hands back on the lap, open, palms facing upwards. Every time we breathe out, let's strengthen our attention in the Sahasrara, which is the 7th energy center at the top of the head. Allow yourself to enter into the state of thoughtless awareness. You are thoughtless. Your mind is becoming more silent, but you are aware of everything that is going on around you.
Today we have gathered here to do Shri Krishna Puja. We have to understand clearly that Shri Krishna is a very, very important deity within us. Because he is the Vishnu who resides in the void, in the Nabi. He is the one who generates dharma within us. When you got your realization, I didn't tell you, don't do this, don't do that. I never told you that this is not good, that is not good. You just did it because Sri Vishnu was awakened within you. He is in the void, and if he is awakened, he brings you to the light, removes your ignorance, removes your darkness, and you start seeing that whatever you were doing was destructive for you. And that's how the dharma is established. Of course, the dharma was established also by all the 10 gurus who came on this earth, the prophets, who taught us about dharma. So this combination of Sri Vishnu and the 10 gurus is to establish dharma within us. Now this dharma is taught by prophets, as you have seen everywhere. They have said, don't do this, don't do that. They have talked of 10 commandments. Every prophet has talked about dharma, what is to be done. Up to a point when Christ also had to talk about it. and he says, "Thou shalt not have adulterous eyes." But Shri Krishna is the one who says that I come on this earth when there is a glani, means demise of dharma. When the dharma becomes weak, then he comes on this earth and then he destroys the people who are responsible for bringing dharma to this level of doom. The second thing he says that I protect the saints. I protect the saints and I kill all those who are devils or who are satanic, who are destructive. These are his promises which he gave long time back as Shri Krishna. As Vishnu, we know him only as the one who is the giver of dharma, mainly. But all his potent qualities really were expressed when he came as Shri Krishna. At the time of Sri Rama also, these qualities could not be expressed in that way. So Shri Krishna's first half of his life he spent in Gokul and Vrindavan, where he showed his beautiful expression of his character as he made it what he calls as Leela, Leeladhara. The one who said that you become a witness. You witness the whole world like a drama, Sakshi Swarupa. And then once you see the whole world as just a child watches, in a childlike mirth and joy, you enjoy life. That has happened to you people, that you have become like citizens of Vrindavan and Gokul. The way you are enjoying yourself, enjoying each other's company, enjoying the bliss of God. There he showed also, by killing Kaliya, by killing Putana and other people, that if anybody tries to trouble such joyous children of God, he is the one who will definitely protect and kill all such evil forces which are troublesome. But later on, he becomes the king. And when he becomes the king, he uses his powers in a different way. First of all, if you see, his own uncle, his own relation, his own uncle, mother's brother, was Kamsa and was such a bad man. So Shri Krishna didn't spare him. He killed him. He killed so many people. Before becoming the king, he killed so many people. Now, what does that mean? That his own uncle he killed. One quality that he has, which Christ had, we can say, or so many saints had, is forgiveness. He did not believe in forgiveness. He is the only one who said that I have to punish. We have to have somebody who should punish also. If you are like Shiva, then Shiva used to even love Rakshasas and in his innocence used to give them also blessings. But Shri Krishna did not believe in forgiveness at all. Because it was important that there should be somebody with a very stern mind, with such a stern understanding that a devil is a devil and devil must be killed. he has done in his lifetime. If you see killing of so many people, that doesn't mean that we have right to kill anybody. He was Shri Krishna, we are not. We have to forgive because we are human beings. Once we forgive, we transfer all our anger, all our attitude of taking revenge to Shri Krishna. He takes over. Once you say that I forgive, then he takes over, because he does not forgive. He will immediately take over from you. And if it is justifiable, if it is necessary, he will punish the people who are torturing saints, who are destroying the dharma. Now it is very surprising that whatever is preached by the person, that area becomes just the opposite of it. It's very surprising. Like we said that Christ said, "Thou shalt not have adulterous eyes." Christians are the worst as far as their eyes are concerned. In the same way, in the Hindu religion, it is said that everybody has the spirit. Still, the Hindus believe in the different castes and communities and fight with each other. Everything that was preached, just the opposite of it is followed. If you read even Quran, in the Quran, Muhammad Sahab has all the time said about rahmat, means compassion. But you don't find it anywhere. He has not said about Shariat, he has not said of many things which are being practiced by Muslims, just on their own. He never said that women should cover their face or cover their heads. But it is practiced, and not practiced with vengeance. So what it shows to us is this, that whatever is preached, just the opposite of that people try to do. And when such things happen, the dharma goes down. Now, as you know that Krishna, his country is America. He rules over America. So, it is a rich country because Shri Krishna is Kubera. He is the Lord of wealth. So, he has given wealth to America. Then he is for jana, means communication. His another quality is that he is the one who communicated. It was he who danced with gopis and gopas. It was he who transferred his powers to them. So the communication part is one of his greatest qualities that is working in America. So they are going just the opposite way, that if there is a war, say with Saddam Hussein, so America is going. If there is Korean war, America is going. Everywhere there is any problem, America has to go. I mean, one can ask question, who are you? Why you bother? Keep to your own country, enjoy yourself. Why are you sending troops all over? Why are you looking after everyone? Even the formation of UN and all that is done under the guidance of the Americans. They play a very important part in the formation of these United Nations and one world and peace and all sorts of things. But actually, if you see, the main thing that Krishna had taught, they are missing. They are all right for communication, they are all right for establishing relationships between countries. But the worst thing they have done is that there is no dharma, no idea of dharma, no morality. Democracy without morality. To talk of morality in America is something out of the blue. They cannot understand anyone who talks of morality. Now, of course, the pangs of their doings is really torturing them. When it is coming as a starking information, it's a shock. But despite that, despite all this, they are still going on with it and thinking that no, it's all right, it's not for us, what is there to worry? Now his punishments have started, which they don't realize how the punishment has started. Now supposing somebody is leading an immoral life, and as a result, he develops some disease. Now this disease is not curable. They're trying everything to find out the ways and methods of curing these diseases which are coming out of immoral living. They cannot. It's an impossible task for all the medical sciences of America to find out how to cure these particular diseases which are coming out of immorality. But the worst part is that they cannot even say that immorality is wrong. They cannot even openly admit that immoral behavior leads to these things. And this immorality is completely neglected. In a country of Shri Krishna where he was born, always he says, just to establish morality. Artificial morality that is there, like the Islamic talk about, or the Christians talk about, or Hindus talk about, is artificial, where they are hypocritical. They follow one code of conduct and another they have for themselves secretly adopted. But America is an open thing. Whatever they are doing, they are not hiding it. They say we don't believe in hypocrisy. So they are not hiding. And this has led, this country is such a vast, beautiful, rich, prosperous country, into such a ditch that I do not know how it is going to recover unless and until it takes to Sahaja. Now, another thing, what dharma does to a normal person. A dharmic person is one who is always introspective by nature. He tries to see, am I doing things all right? Is it correct? He doesn't allow his mind to justify wrong things. That is one of the signs of a real dharmic person. He may not be a sajjad, but he will ask himself, is it right or is it wrong? But that capacity is completely gone in America. They never try to introspect themselves. On the contrary, they always say, what's wrong? Those people who go on like this will definitely fall into a mess of things that will have no moral conduct, moral guidance. It is introspection which gives you an awakened conscience which tells you this is wrong. They may be guided in one part. For example, you see, they might say that we are all right in administration maybe, or we are all right for, say, our railways, our shipping, our other things, or maybe other economic banks, or whatever it is. But all these things are extremely superficial for human beings, and they are outside. The inside is all managed by the conscience and also through moral inspection of yourself. People say, Mother, what is this conscience is? Conscience is there. It is there all the time. But a person who has to be conscious about it. I have a conscience. And this conscience has to answer. That conscience that is within us is the light of Shri Krishna within us even before realization. As you know, the ascent takes place of Kundalini through the Sushumna, which is guided by Mahalakshmi. She is the power of Shri Krishna. By listening to your conscience, you develop a proper channel of Mahalakshmi within yourself. But the people who have no conscience, in a particular line it's not so. It is in every line, in every way. Otherwise, one chakra will be all right, another chakra will be in jeopardy. So the conscience has to be referred to, which is beyond rationality. It is not rationality. Something may look like rational, to kill somebody or to snatch somebody's money or to grab somebody's land. May seem. But conscience will tell you that this is not right. At a time when people invaded so many countries and tried to overpower them, it was America, which was the only country, you must understand, never went out of their bounds to become empires. It's very surprising what kept them there. Because at that time when all this nonsense was going on all over the world, and that era when people didn't mind subjecting other people, taking away their lands and becoming this thing, America had stopped at that time. Before doing that, they had done once for all. They had occupied the area, they became the landlords, they became this. Of course, they were foreigners. But after having done that, the era when people started expanding their empire, they did not do it. Now, what is the reason why they didn't do it? We should ask a question. When others were expanding their empires, why did not America do it? The reason is very simple. At that time, some great people with great conscience were born in that country. And they guided that country. Like you can say, Washington was there. Of course, there were so many people whom if I name, there will be a big list of those people. But if you see their character, their life, the way they live, Abraham Lincoln, if you see his life, full of conscience, full of conscience. And they didn't allow the nation to be drifted away to the ambition of gathering other countries and making them their slaves, and this they didn't do. So in the first place, when I should say Columbus went there, conquered them and tried to, actually he didn't do much, but Spanish and then others and then Anglo-Saxons, all of them, when they conquered that country, once they settled down there, as if that era was over for them, once for all. And then they started talking about freedom, of democracy, of higher values. But the karmas of their past, the way they killed so many aboriginals, will not be forgiven by Shri Krishna. Despite that time when they did not try to overpower other countries and to spread their empire and do all kinds of cruelties like Hitler, they didn't do that. And they always stood for something that is justice, tried to, at least then they become hypocritical also. But on the whole, on the face of it, they tried to show that they are for uniting the whole world. They against racialism, against fundamentalism, all this, this some sort of an idealism they propagated. But despite all that, all these ideas of self-destruction started working in them. So, I would say it is nothing but their karmas are working against them. And that's how the violence is so much rampant there. So many diseases, so many things. It is very remarkable that all these troubles have started very, very recently in America. Because the exposure is coming up. To add up to that, we had lots of false gurus who went there and captured innocent, simple people who were seeking the truth. We have lost so many of them in America. Also there, I would say, in the atmosphere where these curses of the people whom they had killed, which reacted and they took to something that was wrong. Why should they have taken to wrong things as far as their personal life is concerned? Freedom was given to them, but they thought freedom is there also to ruin themselves or to make a mess out of their lives. This is a wrong idea which worked in them. Then the whole idea became collective. When it became collective, they found out that people like all those things that are destructive. So, we have Hollywood there, we have all such organizations and musicians and big, we can say, destructive forces which have formed groups and militant organizations which openly say that we are that. For example, only in America we have Satan's organization, Devil's organizations, then this witchcraft, openly. Openly they are registered organizations in America. When nowhere in the world you can have such a thing that this is a black magic organization, this is a witchcraft organization, openly they are registered. So to such an extent they have gone and accepted collectively. The reason is the punishment. That's why America is the most difficult place for us, for Sahaja. One must have real sympathy for them. They are now passing through the phase of punishment. Because their forefathers did all kinds of wrong things, and they too never accepted dharma as a principle of life. They thought that dharma means killing your freedom. Dharma means it takes away your personal, private life into the hands of something else. So to establish dharma in America, what can we do? I have been to America at least 10 times more than I have been to Russia. And I want to really somehow or other bring to their notice that you have lost your dharma. But this will never appeal to them because they are very egoistical. If you tell them like that, then they'll be very angry. On the contrary, those who tell them like Rajneesh and all these people, oh, this, no dharma, their weaknesses, their egos are pampered, then they are very happy. So it's a difficult task in that country to make people understand that you are under punishment. with Sahaja, their dharma will be awakened and all their punishments and all their curses will be over. It is America which needs Sahaja much more than any other country. My concern for America is for the same reason. I am not saying so much about South America, but more about the North America. Now, we have to understand that these problems also exist within ourselves on our Vishuddhi Chakra. If we have to keep our Vishuddhi Chakra all right, we have two sides, as you know, is the left and the right. So the right side is the Vishuddhi Chakra, which is speaking, which is talking about dharma, which is on the aggressive side, we can say. Now, those people who are aggressive, who talk in an aggressive manner, who are, say, trying to dominate others by their talks, are the people who are right-sided. I have shown people, those who really do wrong things. Say a person, a servant, steals something. You call him, he'll be so rude to you that you'll be amazed. This man is so rude, how can he have been able to steal something? He's not afraid, he's answering you back so nicely. So those people who are right-sided can cover up any sin that they have committed, any wrong they have done, any murder they have done by their talk. It could be a talk which is very aggressive, blatant. People might think, oh, how can that be? This man is telling so loudly everything, and you are stunned. And you think, no, it's not possible. How can a person who says this? In this way, we too, as ordinary human beings, indulge into all kinds of nonsensical things, and then we try to justify it by talking, wriggling out of it. You know, as many criminals, war criminals, have come out of it by just talking, by creating stories, by showing something like that. That also is with all human beings, they have this capacity to say something by which to hide whatever wrong you are doing. But it is never realized by them that whatever harm you have done is not going to be forgiven and will be less forgiven when you talk like this. Because Shri Krishna is finished. If you start justifying, rationalizing all your wrong things, then you will be punished. And you will be punished very badly in so many ways that you will not know how to get it out of it. Physically, mentally, emotionally, every way you will be. So our right Vishuddhi, we have to have a temperament, a culture, a style, a behavior, which has got the quality of Shri Krishna, which is called as Madhurya, means melodious. Melodious. We should talk in such a manner that it should be melodious. The person who listens to you listens as if he is listening to the flute of Shri Krishna. The voice of a Sahajogi should be sweet, like that. When you talk to someone, it should be melodious. It should not be aggressive at all, but on the contrary, it should be melodious. It should not be sarcastic. It should not hurt another person. Any word that hurts others cannot be coming from the proper type of right Vishuddhi. So in no way one should hurt. I wish all the Sahajogis develop that melodious voice of Shri Krishna as their Vishuddhi is awakened. Madhurya, in his behavior. Madhurya is, see, while talking to someone, there are so many gestures by which you can express your Madhurya. For example, especially in Italy and other places, I've seen people use too much of their hands. This is also Shri Krishna's style. So they use their hands in such a way that sometimes you don't understand what they are meaning. And sometimes it can be quite aggressive also, the way they use their hands. Now the hands must be used in such a way that it should create madhurya. I have seen this in Russia, or especially in Eastern blocs, where people, they have to express their love. Just put like this. If they have to say namaste, the whole expression is so sweet, and also their heart is very full when they see me. So they don't know how to express it. So they just put their hands like this. Or they feel shy, they do like this. Very, very sweet things they express through their hands, through their eyes. It is the tears, you see, that really create such clouds of, I should say, very dense clouds of compassion in my heart when I see their eyes expressing their love for me. Everything, the tears, everything, that's the face, the eyes, the hands, all this belong to Shri Krishna. So in their behavior, in their talking, how they express themselves. You can use the same eyes for showing your temper and getting angry. Many people use eyes for controlling others. They'll put their eyes like this, stare at someone, try to control. They may use their eyes also for condemning someone. Also sometimes they use sort of spit at someone or try to show the tongue to insult someone. So in the behavior also, we must have a kind of a sweetness. Like when I went to England first, I learnt English in my own way. But when I went there newly, they said, now if you have to say a word like thought, you must say thought. I said, what? You must take out your tongue and say thought. I said, it's absurd. Why should you take out your tongue? He said, unless until you take out your tongue like that, it's not something proper expression. So I said, this is English, you have developed some nonsensical thing to show tongue at everyone. Even a child, when he gets angry, automatically he shows his tongue. So you see, all these expressions are, and making faces. Now, as they say that stiff upper lip, you must have heard about that. With the nose like that, you see, snooty nose, or a face where you just make your faces and make a crooked face just to tease someone, or to make an expression out of your nose. Also people do it like this, you see, to show as if you are sneezing at that person. All these things, expressions are coming out of Shri Krishna's grace. But the power of that is madhurya, is the sweetness, the melodiousness. The rapport should be so sweet that rapport should create tremendous joy and tremendous happiness. As you have heard the song of Baba Mama's, On My Eyes, only I looked at him, I says with that glance, that generated that beautiful music in him. So as far as possible, try to put your eyes on the greenery, that's the best. Then it soothes down, and also you develop the soothing quality of the greenery. I always tell people that better see the greenery around, how it soothes your eyes. In the same way, you should try to soothe the other person when you talk to that person. The person must melt. Instead of that, if you start arguing and fighting with that person will never melt. On the contrary, you will be adding fire, more fire to that person. That was the quality of Shri Krishna, is the madhurya. And that is expressed in his lifetime, how he beautifully managed to say things in his own sweetness, especially in his childhood. The another quality which Shri Krishna has, which we can express through our right Vishuddhi, is diplomacy. But there are two types of diplomacies. One is genuine, one is artificial. In the genuine diplomacy, you do not have to take to a certain standard, or you don't have to read some books to know how it is diplomacy. Is it genuinely it comes to you. The whole thing works very sweetly in such a genuine manner. I have used it many a times myself, and you all can use it also many a times. That's only possible if you don't get angry with someone. Not possible if you are angry. Now there's a story I've told you about some, this Gagangad Maharaj. I went to meet him, and he was very angry because he could not stop the rain. He was supposed to stop the rain, and I was all drenched. And he was so angry, and he said that, is it my ego you were trying to control? And like that he started a little bit fighting with me. I said, no, that's not the reason. He said, why? Why did you not allow me to stop the rain? You are all drenched. I said, because you are a sannyasi and you bought a sari for me. I would not take a sari from a sannyasi. So I had to get drenched for your sake. The whole thing finished off. The whole anger, temper finished off. This is how we have to melt people. The diplomacy is not convincing anybody with his intellect or by temper or anything, but it is to melt away another person by your goodness, by your good words, by your sweet works, by your forgiving nature. This quality he had, and he tried this on many people. It worked on some, it did not work on some. He didn't feel it's a failure. It's the reaction of the another person which is important to be seen. So this quality of right Vishuddhi you should have is to talk to others and melt them away. I hope in America people develop this quality and try to improve relations with each other. Actually, to talk to, they are very sweet, I must say. They get very friendly with you. You give them any number of presents, they'll be very happy. But they'll never give you any present. You call them for dinner, anything, 10 times they'll come to your house for dinner, but they will never call you for dinner. You see, they are very friendly as long as you are doing anything for them. But when it comes to returning it, they find it difficult. They don't do it. So, you see, the whole thing amounts to be a very sweet exploitation of another person. This is what is to be understood, that by sweetness, you are not going to exploit anyone, but by sweetness, you are going to melt that person and bring him to the level that he can understand what is goodness. Now, about South America, I have already told you that they are extremely simple and innocent people. They are very poor, simple, innocent. But what has entered them into is this black magic, and which they are now realizing, luckily, that this is black magic which is troubling them. But somehow they have depended on it so much, on the left side. They feel very guilty about it. They feel very bad. All the time you find them absolutely guilty. Their whole behavior is that as if they have done something wrong. But they do not know how to correct themselves. So for us it is important not to feel guilty about it. We are all Sahajogis. How can we have guilt? After all, when we are the spirit, spirit cannot have the guilt. So this guilt has to go away. But By guilt, what do? What we lose is the witness power. Because when there is a guilt, we put it here, the guilt is there. But we cannot see, we cannot witness what's wrong, and we do not want to face our mistakes or the difficulty we have. Just put it as a guilt here, finished. It's stored up there nicely, guilt. But we do not want to face it. For example, a man, say, or a woman, is very cruel by nature. Then suddenly she realizes that she has been cruel or whatever. So she puts it down there, oh, I've been very bad, I've been very cruel, this thing, that thing. But she doesn't face it. Facing means she should know, why was I cruel? What was the need for me? I should not have been cruel. And now I will not be cruel anymore. That finishes all. But I'm very guilty about it. I'm very guilty about it. Doesn't help. On the contrary, you know what are the problems are of the guilt. And the same problems are today faced by South America. So they try to, there's no need to confess. There's nothing to say. And not to dwell upon what wrongs you have done, but now enjoy what you have got. It's like this, supposing a beggar is made a king, all right? Then he should enjoy his kingdom. He should behave like a king, but still he remembers his past more. So anybody who passes by says, give me 5 rupees or 5 pounds. It's like that. Once you are in the kingdom of God, know that you are in the kingdom of God. So this guilt business has to be given up completely. You should not be guilty. Guilt is put into it. Somebody can say, oh, you are so bad, you didn't do this for me, you didn't do that, or something like that. They put ideas. Then you start feeling, oh, I should have done this for them. It was wrong on my part or something. And then the guilt starts. Instead of doing something for that person, or instead of understanding that it's all nonsense, they go on brooding on that, and then suddenly they find they are in the trouble of getting possessed or being affected by black magic. So one has to forget it and get into the atmosphere where you know that you are now in the kingdom of God. About Shri Krishna, whatever is to be said is less than what is said, I always feel, and that his main work is through our brain. That is Virat. He works through our brain. And as Shiva works through our heart, he works through our brain. And after Sahaja Yoga, after enlightenment, all the subtleties of the brain and the knowledge starts manifesting and expressing itself. But the greatest thing that happens, that integration takes place in your brain. It's not that your heart wants one thing and your brain wants another thing. The integration takes place, and when that integration takes place, it's so easy to lead a very dharmic life. Even without thinking about it, without reading about it, you just become dharmic. You are not to be told that you have to be dharmic. Innately, you become dharmic because your brain, which normally is used for rationality, for justifying all that is wrong, becomes dharmic, becomes divine. This is the greatest thing that Shri Krishna does to you, is to make your brain itself dharmic. It becomes a vehicle of understanding dharma, of leading a dharmic life, and of standing firmly on dharma. It's the brain. It is the brain which really mostly takes you away from dharma, apart from black magic. But once your Sahasrara is opened out, Virata is expressed, then you are amazed at yourself. The one who was indulging into everything, thinking this is pleasure, this is my right, I should have done it, who else can tell me and all that. Suddenly you become a prophet. This is the greatest blessing of Shri Krishna that he is Virat, and the Virat is your brain, and the brain of God Almighty is Virat. So this is what one has to realize, that after realization, a person gets ideas which are always constructive. And if they are not, then you are not yet a Sahaja Yogi. Constructive and dharmic. That is very, very important for us to understand where is our mind going. Is it contradicting? It is telling something else than what it is. We have to just keep a watch, and you'll be amazed to see how your brain has changed its ways. The upside brain has become normal. This you can get very easily if you just meditate every day and see for yourself how the expression of your Sahasrara is penetrating into your being and is acting in your life. Then all the powers of Sahaja Yogi will be manifested, and you don't have to anymore doubt yourself, and others will never doubt. May God bless you.